Hello learners, I am Dr. Subodh Kesharwani. Today I am going to talk on the topic called formulation of objective. This is part of our course called MCO3, Research Methodology in Statistical Analysis. And if we go more into the depth of this objective, I think there are certain parameters which are taken into consideration while formulating or framing the objective. And if we talk about this particular thing, I think objective is something which is a very important ingredient as far as our life is concerned, as far as our research is concerned. So choosing an objective is a very important task, and when you are going into the depth of this choosing of objectives, I think the goal is definitely going to be decided. So there is a very famous quotation which says that friend and book must be few and good. So on the lines of that objective, when you are going to frame the objectives, either it could be related to your life or related to your research, it should be in your fingertips. So if you are not going to regulate your objectives, I think you would be in dilemma, you would be quite confused. So we will definitely throw a light on this particular term called objectives, because the whole research revolves around the objectives, and in our previous discussion we have seen that how the gap provide you a roof, which and from that you are up to lead to a conclusion that this could be your objective. So while formulating of objectives, there are certain the parameters, there are certain checklists which one has to follow always, and some the right homework need to be done. So this particular theme is quite important while progressing your research. So before going into the depth of this topic, let's throw a light on recapitulate what exactly we have covered in our previous lectures. We have talked about research thought, which is a preamble to the research, and then we have research FAQs. There are certain the frequently asked questions which are quite important once you start your research, and these questions are somewhat work as a building blocks, and on the basis of this building block you initiate your research, you initiate your platform. So afterwards there are certain pedagogy, there are certain research methodology which one need to take care, and then the business research, what exactly the business research is, because since this is a particular program or particular course for the commerce graduates, so research is also going to play a very vital role as far as the business is concerned. So it's not like that it is a cup of tea of the academicians or the teachers, but on the other hand it is right now having a very holistic view, and it is going to play a very important role when you talk about the business research. So this research plan and research problem we have already covered in our preceding lectures, and we know that planning is quite important when you start your research, and when the certain problem comes, how you are going to come out there, the planning is going to play a very important role. So this is part of our block 1, research and data collection. So gradually we have some more forthcoming lectures on the particular terminologies, but here we are restricted to formulation of objectives. So if you see this particular particular chapter, we have bifurcated into three or four sessions. The reason behind is that we start with the research plan as far as this particular unit is concerned. Then we have talked about the particular research problems, which are what are the sources of research problem, then what point to be considered while selecting a problem, then specification of problems. After talking a lot on this particular term like planning and problem, and narrow down the problem, then we are just now concentrating on formulation of objectives. Finally you will see that once we formulate the objectives on the basis of the literature review, on the basis of the gap which we have explored, and then just narrow down to that gaps and restrict to 4 or 5 objectives. So objectives choosing is it's a very tedious task. It's a very methodological task. Like there are certain methodologies, there are certain the modus operandi which need to be followed. It's not like that you just go through and find the objective and choose it, because I have already mentioned in my initial talk that objective is quite important. And when you are going to when you are going to decide that you are going to achieve this particular task, or what your aim is, what your goal is, their objective is very important, because objectives works as a ladder. you know your goal, but how you're going, and goal is always a long-term affairs, whereas objective is, a routine matter. And when you're going more into the routine things, you have certain modus operandi behind it. So how you're going to follow, what procedures you are going to take, and what steps and direction you are going to consider while framing these objectives. So once you frame the objectives, you must have to adhere to that. And if your objectives are based on the gaps, and these gaps are governed on the basis of the literature which you have studied on a rigorous manner, I think you lead to a very good objectives. And once you get the objectives, and the good point is that the objective need to be in your fingertips. It should not be more than 4 or 5. So, and because if you have more number of objectives, your universal could be quite larger, your sample size could become somewhat more, and in that case you are not able to conclude the things in a prescribed time frame. So accomplishing a task in a prescribed time frame is also one of the important ingredients. So how you are going to objectives, which objectives you are going to take, and which objectives you are going to eliminate, that also work on the basis of the research which you have taken. So the literature review and other things which we have already talked about in our preceding lectures, it works as a the supporting role while framing the objectives. So then the moment you accomplish the objectives, then the hypothesis comes, and then research design, then pilot study and pre-testing. So we will have a dedicated session on these terms in our forthcoming presentations. So but here I am just restrict myself to formulation of objective, because what I am thinking that that objective is need to need special care, and some effort need to be done, because if you are having a knack of choosing the objective, then very easily you can achieve the goal. It's just a matter of time that you have chosen, because on the basis of the objective which you have chosen, you run on that particular platform, you develop the platform, and then on that platform you start working on it. So anyway, we will just concentrate on what exactly the objective is. Now, if you see that an objective means an assignment, a series of assignments, a part thereof, that must be done in a certain way by the planned deadline. And I think that is the reason I always emphasize that your objective should be 4 or 5, not more than that. Because if your objectives are in your fingertips and you are quite familiar, and there must be interlinkage behind that. It's not like that the first objective talks about something different, and second objective could be quite contradictory in nature. So if you have not got a homogeneity or synonymity among the objectives, I think the purpose is not going to be solved. And these objectives are framed in such a manner that it works as a ladder, that when you are going upward, moving upward in a upward direction, I think there you have certain ladders, and the first layer talks about something else, and second layer is just a replica of that, or work as an add-on to that. So it's not like that the first objective talks about something else, then third objective talks about other thing where you have to come down. So there must be a proper synchronization or integration, and gradual mode is there. Like if you achieve the first objective, you have achieved certain layers, and when you move into the second objective, you have gone through the second layer. So this could be the modus operandi which need to be taken care. And objectives are the short-term goals, which I have already told, because when you talk about the aims and goals, these are the very long-term affairs. Like if the student want to, if we talk about the school-going kids, and when he or she is in class 12th, the aim is to crack the NEET exams or JEE exams, or enter into the medical field or the engineering field. These are the goals. But to achieve that goals, they have certain framework in their mind, that they are going to start their journey by just cracking the exams, or doing some mock test and other things. So to achieve the goal is to crack the NEET or the JEE exams, but on the other hand they develop certain framework that how to accomplish that goals. There the objective is going to play a very important role. It's happened with the researchers also. When researcher starts or indulge himself or herself in this activity of research, they just narrow down to the particular title first. So choose the beginning stage is that they choose the title, then they start reviewing the literature related to that particular title, and the moment they explore certain literatures, say roughly the 50 or 100 or 200, then from there, they narrow down themselves to certain objectives. Like, if somebody wants to, do the research on the consumer behavior, and the trend is, the commerce, or the current trend is mobile commerce. So the consumer behavior could be one of the important ingredients, and m-commerce is one of the modus operandi which is applicable in the present scenario. So and since the consumers are located in India, so the title could be like role of consumer behavior, impact of consumer behavior on e-commerce with the Indian scenario. So maybe this could be the title by which the things can be done. Now the title, or the objective need to be reframed, or revolves around this particular domain. Like, it could have a pan-India presence, it could talk about the e-commerce, it could talk about the consumers who are exclusively doing the shopping through e-commerce, because the commerce consumers are different, the e-commerce consumers are different, then age factors and age brackets are important into it. So objective need to be reframe or designed keeping in mind a particular title. So that could be the thing. And operating objectives, the primary purpose of operating objective is planning and arranging the daily activities of so that if they are able to arrange the daily activities, then the things are going to be done. For that the questionnaire need to be framed, and then important high priority employee tasks are like including objectives aimed at achieving the set target. So this is where the things are going to be done. So objectivity is the concept of truth independent from individual subjectivity. Scientific objectivity refers to the ability to judge without partially or external influence. So what we have seen, that when you are going to choose your objective, you have to take care all these scenario which we are talking about. And what I have talked about, that if you go more into the depth of it, you will find out objective is a way to achieve the goal. And you see that there is an idea, there is a plan, there is a goal. So the idea is that when you are going to start a research, this is just the idea which comes in your mind and the title which you have chosen, then you plan for it. And planning is somewhat overlap with the objective, and then the moment you plan, then after going into the finding the idea, then planning, then you reach to the goals. So what we observe, that we start, no doubt goal is quite bigger circle, and if you compare with objectives, but it's rooted through this particular objective, and goals are broad, objectives are narrow. Goals are general intentions, objectives are precise. That is very true, because goals are intangible in nature. Because anything which are not visible, it's considered to be intangible, and objectives are tangible in nature. So goals are abstract and objectives are concrete. So that is very true. And when you are going to talk about this particular terminologies, and what we have seen, that there is a term called SMART, which talks about specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, time bound. So goals are where you want to be, and objectives are the steps needed to get there. So when we are going to achieve the particular goals, I think as a research student, if anybody is in the class in their postgraduate programs, and studying the research methodology paper, or doing the particular research, or making a dissertation, their goal is to accomplish that dissertation. And if the doctoral students are there, their goal is to accomplish the thesis and get the doctorate degree, so that they can be called that they have completed their PhD programs. So this could be the goal. So objectives are the steps need to get there, how you are going to achieve and how you are going to complete the goals. Because when you are going to frame certain objectives, there are certain objectives which could change with the change of time, and on the other hand, what we have observed, that sometimes the objective which we have chosen become redundant after a year or two. So you have to, while choosing the objectives, you have to see the shelf life of the objectives. If you are not visualize yourself in such a manner, or having a long term vision, you are not able to find out that what could be the shelf life. And if you are not knowing more about the shelf life, ultimately what will happen, the objective which you have chosen become redundant in a year. And if you have make a target to accomplish the PhD in 3 years time or 5 years time, I think if your objective become redundant in 1 year, I think you have to have another objective. Now the moment you go for another objectives, your whole working culture is changed, your hypothesis will change, your this is going to affect the data which you have collected, the question is going to be affected, and what will happen, you will be in the no man's land. So how to come out from it, that is more important, and what could be the shelf life that you are going to decide. So for that, rigorous literature review is more important, because this rigorous literature review is going to give you the gap, and on the basis of the gap you are going to formulate the objectives. Sometimes what we have observed that gaps are quite in big numbers. Sometimes they are in 10 numbers or 15 numbers while going to the literatures. When you are studying n number of literatures and having a pan India presence, or the western world presence or world presence, you have to narrow down yourself. And if you are going to narrow down yourself, the challenge comes how you are going to narrow down, because exploring the things is very high, and just reaching to the conclusion is a very tough task. So in that case, what happen, you get a huge number of gaps, and these gaps are sometimes what we observe, that they are in big quantities, like 10 10, 15, 20 or something like that. Now it's really tough, or it's really cumbersome for the researchers or the individuals to how they can narrow down it. So the good part is that there are certain objectives which are overlapping with one another. Now you have to work in such a manner that you are going to overlap the repetitive objectives, or the objective which you have taken, just narrow down it and try to reduce the gap in 4 to 5 numbers, so that these gaps can be converted into objectives. So this could be one of the way by which the things are going to be done. Then broad lofty ideas that are intangible, abstract, may not be measurable, and long term. So objectives works on a smart short term model, and if you go more into depth of this objective, this starts with specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time bound. So if you are talking about the term called specific, I think critically review and revise is going to be quite important. And measurable, if you are going to measure, each objective set must be measurable in terms of quality and quantity. So if you see this, that how you are going to measure this, there are qualitative analysis, there are quantitative analysis, and when we have already talked about the research methods, there are qualitative methods, there are quantitative methods. So what we have observed, that attainable model is there, and think about the infrastructure setup you have. So your expertise and the time constraints are there. So based on this set your objective, we have observed that over ambitious one that you cannot possibly achieve. So anything which is not able to achieve and have certain constraints need not to be done, because there are certain examples, like if we talk about the research in the rural areas, and that to the rural consumers who are not the computer savvy, who are not the internet savvy, and we are just talking about what their experience towards the buying and selling goods through e-commerce. So what we have observed, that these are the hypothetical things which need not to be taken care while framing the objectives. And on the other hand, there are certain other questions which comes in your mind which are nowhere relevant to that. So one has to avoid all those things. So relevancy, sensible, and practicalness is there. So one has to be realistic about the idea you are proposing, and this time bound approach is there. So determine when each objective needs to be completed. Is there time in your schedule to allow, or unexpected delays are there? So what we have observed, that the good example is that if you talk about the doctoral programs, the doctoral program starts with 3 years and goes up to 5 years or 6 years. Sometimes the researchers take extensions, and it goes up to 8 years or 10 years. Why it is happening? If you see the thumb rule talks about that if any researchers strategically plan or do the research in he or she can accomplish the task in the 3 years. So there is a very good examples where the researchers or the doctoral student have accomplished the task in the 3 years time frame. But on the other hand, certain the unnatural circumstances comes in between, where the data is really cumbersome for the researchers to collect. So in that case, they get certain grace periods. So keeping in mind, if you talk about the norms or the rules and regulations with respect to the time frame, I think starts with the minimum time is 3 years and the maximum is 5 years. So within this time frame, if the research can be accomplished, it's fine, because there are certain challenge also. If you are not able to accomplish the research in this particular time frame, the objective which you have chosen, in the very beginning become redundant after 3 years or 5 years. So in that case, if you are going to retwist your objectives, ultimately what will happen, again you have to start a journey by scratch. You have to change the hypothesis which I was talking about, and you have to change many things. There are certain amendments comes in between, and ultimately what will happen, you will find out that you are reaching to the very unrealistic model, and sometimes what happens, your morale become deteriorate, and in that case you either shut down the present research, or able to choose a different topic. So that is the reason what I am talking about, that time is quite important, and one has to be quite cautious while accomplishing the task in the particular time frame. So describe concisely what research is trying to achieve. It informs the reader what you want to research and how far you want to go, because the sky is the limit when you start a research. And this terminology called research itself is a very self-explanatory term. It's talk about search, search and search, and again you are searching. And when you are searching too much, ultimately you are you are in a no man's land. You are in a very confusing stage, because if you have narrowed down yourself, you reach to the particular conclusion. Then after a certain time, what happens, some new things come up. Let's talk about the business and technology amalgamation. We have seen that there was a business trend, and there is now change in the business. And what we have seen, that the business is changing with the change of time, and the technology is going to play a very important role into it. There was a time when business was governed through one mode called brick and mortar mode, but right now technology is there. Now virtual currency is there. Then humanless models coming up, where artificial intelligence and all those things are coming up. So this had given a change in the model. The shelf life of the company is now deteriorating. There was a time when the company dominates the market. They were there for 30 years, 40 years, 50 years. But right now the company who were dominating the market, maybe after a decade they stands no more. So how you are going to do the research if your consumers are no more into it? If you talk about the particular segment or particular product, if that product's not there, or the segment is not there, then how are you going to do the research on this particular model? So what we have observed, that this kind of the framework need to be developed, where research is need to be done in a fast track mode, and the current scenario which is going on, which is omnipresent in nature, need to be taken care. So accomplishment a researcher wishes to achieve through the project and provides direction to the study, and goals that you are setting your study and you want to achieve through your study. That is more important, because and on the other hand, we have to inform the reader about the scope and extent of the study, like how it is going to serve the society by and large, because there is always a scope for the researcher. It's not like that the research which we have accomplished as a researcher is going to be full and final. Sometimes what happens, when we wind up our research and accomplish the task on the basis of the objective which we have framed, we come to the conclusion that there are certain scope which is left for the future researchers. So if you have left certain things for the future researchers, I think this is one of the another mode of throwing the light on the particular topic, and ultimately what will happen, it is going to provide the roof to the future researchers. So when we are going to initiate any research, we are not a master into it, or we are not an what we can say, we are not an expert into it, that whatever we had done, it's full and final, and there is no scope for the research. It's the beauty of the good researchers, that it can always provide a roof to the future researchers, and left the scope, and these scopes are somewhat quite unhidden in nature, and some gaps which need to be left. So when we accomplish our doctoral thesis, when we accomplish our dissertations, at the end we write about the future findings. This is a gap. This is a moral duty of the researchers to give the legacy which they have developed to the future researchers, so that they can work on it, and then they can have a scope on it. So once you go through the good literatures, you will find out they always believe in talking about the findings or the future scope for the future researchers. And while going through the literature review, the researcher need to go through this particular format, that what exactly it is. The most important point to consider is the clarity of the research objective. So, and how you're going to get the clarity? It's not like that, the quotation says that Rome was built in a day. You get the clarity only when you are going to go into the depth of the research, when you are going to the depth of the literature. So there is no rocket science, there is no thumb rule behind that somebody else, or your supervisor or your mentor is going to give you the roof. It is you, who can just reach to a conclusion on the basis of the homework which you have done. If you have not done a proper homework, if you have not studied properly, if you have not gone through the literature review, your mental thought is not going to develop. And when your mental thought is not going to develop, you will not reach to the particular gap and then vis-a-vis the objective. So this is very important, when you're going to talk about this particular thing. I think the clarity of the research objective is very important, and this clarity will comes up when you are just throwing a light on the particular gap. So anyway, I think there are types of research objectives. There are two types of objectives in any type of study: the main objectives and the secondary or sub-objectives. So when we are starting a literature review, I think we find out certain gaps, and we lands up to the certain objectives. And when we are just throwing a light on particular objectives, then there are certain objectives which we try to put in the primary category, and there are certain objectives which we put in the secondary category. Like in crickets we have seen that the 11 players are playing, but there are certain substitutes which are there. So here also, on the basis of that, one has to keep the substitutes, because what we observe that if you have a backup, if you have a substitutes, you can very easily convert the primary objectives will become redundant, and take the secondary objectives at the lead role. So the main objectives or the primary objective will lead the research about that. So the secondary objectives set the goals that we want to achieve along with the main objectives. And somewhere what we have observed that these secondary objective works as an enabler also, and they are also relevant and specific to research problem. We have already throw a light on the research problem, that what are different kinds of research problems which are there, and some research problems are inherent in nature, which usually we visualize, and some are gradually comes when you start in going into the process of doing the research, or in the pipeline when you are there, you find out this kind of model is there. So the secondary objectives are thus not the main goal or aim of the research, but they provide support in attaining the main goals. So that is very true, and this is the model which is there. So most important step: formulation of statement of objectives, decision about inclusion, exclusion in the survey, and we have already talked about the survey method, how the survey method works, and in our preceding sessions, and we see that how the decision need to be taken as far as the inclusion and exclusion is concerned, because when we make the questionnaire survey and it reaches to the respondents, sometimes respondents reciprocate through close-ended questions and open-ended questions, and when they reciprocate, I think there are certain inclusion and exclusion, there are certain things which we can include because the set data is there, the standard data which we have developed in the form of format, and we try to incorporate the respondents the conversation into it. So that is there established. We establish the general needs, the operational definition, the specific area that will address, and the overall analysis plan. And this is where the things are going to be done. So the formulation of objective is there. If you talk about objectives are the goals you set to attain in your study. Objectives inform a reader. We have already talked about what you want to achieve through the study. It is extremely important to word them clearly and specifically. And this is one of the important challenges. Once you formulate the objectives, and why objectives should be quite clear and specific, because once you formulate the objectives, then you go for framing the questionnaires. And these questionnaires are the part of the primary data, and when you are framing the primary data, when you're going for collection of the primary data, this questionnaire is one of the backbone behind giving the information related to primary data, because you frame the questionnaires, you make the questionnaires in various format, open end, close end, and then you float it to the house, float it to the respondents which you have chosen, which could be your the sample and the collection of data, and then it could be sent through questionnaire in a brick and mortar mode, that is in a print format, or in a electronic mode through questionnaire way. So what we observe that this kind of thing is there. So once you get the answers from the respondents, then it is extremely important, and if your objectives are clear, your questions are quite clear, and when your questions are clear, respondents are very friendly to answer in a very faster mode, and they are not confused and there must be some linkage behind that. And question while framing the questionnaires, when we have a dedicated session of questionnaires, we will see how much the questionnaire is writing the question is important, and how you're going to put it among the house, among the the respondents, or among the individuals, because if the questions is quite rigorous in nature, I think they can left it in between, or they are not in a position to write. So you have to have certain models that, or the pedagogy where the question could be answered in certain phases, or if you are floating electronically, it should be answered in certain steps, maybe in certain intervals. In the first steps, you can fill certain information which are quite mandatory or prerequisites. In the second stage, you can ask some generic questions. Then, as far as the open-ended questions are concerned, where they have to write certain things, in that case, they can just give the view about that. So it should be planned in such a manner that it had a combination of open-ended and close-ended. So there are some open-ended questions which are in fast-track mode to be answered, and then some close-ended questions are there. So objectives should be listed under two headings: main objectives and sub-objectives. We have already talked about, and creating good objectives can help organization realize their business goals. If we talk about the researchers, if we talk about the business house, they have to be quite cautious into it. They explore three potential research objectives: what the research must achieve, whether this is going to benefit the society by and large, and if it is going to benefit the society by and large, what could be a universal and what could be a sample. We will definitely throw a light on this particular aspect and examples of weak objectives and why it's weak. Because when you are talking about, sometimes what happens, we consider that this objective seems to be quite good, and we have make it a primary objective. And when we have make the hypothesis on the basis of that is null and hypothesis, and then questionnaire and send it to the respondents, when the respondent reciprocates, I think the answer which we are expecting is not coming in the manner we need to have, or maybe some lot of discrepancies is there. So in that case, these objectives are considered to be weak objectives. So you have to be little bit twist, or you have to use the substitute into it. So there the secondary objective which you have taken as a backup of the primary objective, take the front face. So example of a stronger objective, and what are the example of stronger objectives, and how these stronger objectives can be useful in building the research. So these are the certain terms, and there are certain good examples also. Non-profit community medical centers, if we talk about, are considered to be example needed to inform a communication campaign that will in the end expand the donors base and increase the consistency in rupee value of donations from existing donors. So what we observe that by this way the objectives need to be done. In the coming slides we will definitely take example that what are the benefits of when you take a good example, good objectives, and how it is going to be effective. So reflect the questions whose answer investigator wants to study. And when you are formulating a research objectives, can be expressed either in the form of statement or a question. That is very true. Sometimes you can take or express in the form of statement or questions and serve as a steering wheel in the conduct of a research project. Now, what we observe that this is a very important slide when you talk about the research objectives. Why we are emphasizing more on objectives, though for the researcher it's a peanut, but if you actually go into the depth of research objectives, you will find out it's solved the 30 to 40% purpose of the research. and it's have a very good cause. Have a very positive cause. If you have chosen because in computers and technology we always believe in garbage in, garbage out. Like whatever the data you are going to input, in the same manner you get the output. So here also what we observe that research objective is quite important, because when you talk about the research objective, it talks about that how much you are focused about the thing, and when you are having a good objective in your mind, I think somewhat the 50 or 30% better you have achieved. So present it briefly and concisely, that is very true, and it's in a logical sequence. I have already talked about there must be a synchronization with 3 to 4 objectives. So the first objective talks about the layer one or the ladder one, and the second objective talks about the somewhat the um, second step of that, or we can say the replica of that, which is an added version of that. Then it should be realistic, like achieve with the expected time frame, achieve with the available resources. That is also very true, I think. Sometimes what we observe, that there are certain good research which had been conducted in the Western world, like in America, in Germany, in France, and these are considered to be a new pedagogy which had been chosen or used by them. Now the Indian researchers, when they start reviewing the literature, they just gone through that particular literature, and they are quite enthusiastic about that. But once the moment they try to make a replica of that, when the moment they try to make a a sequel to that, they are not taking care of the respondents who are who are considered to be the Indian scenario. So what is going on when you have taken a good topic which had done a good results in the Western world, and try to create a replica of that and started the same pedagogy in Indian context? I think the respondents are not in a position to reciprocate. So what is going on, that by that time the research which you have taken somewhat dismantled from there. So one has to be quite cautious, that you have to be realistic, and the available resources are not there. The example which I have taken about the massively use of the internet in e-commerce, and you are taking a rural consumers. So in that case, whatever the data comes, it would be useless for you. So this is the model which is there. So there are certain verbs that are specific enough to be evaluated or measured, like assess, determine, compare, verify, calculate, describe. While making the statement of objectives, I think the prefix need to be taken care, and it should be static one, and study works behind objective, should not be moving targets. So this is where the things are there, and how many aims and objectives should be there. I have already talked about the example which I have quoted, like friends and book must be few and good. You have to have the objectives in your fingertips. It should not be more than 5. So though there are no thumb rule behind that it should not be 10 or 12, but again certain constraints are there. Your time frame would be accelerated, and you are not in a position to accomplish the task in the prescribed time frame. So some supervisors are happy with one clear strong aim, while others like to see a main aim supported by at least 2 subsidiary aims. I have already talked about the objectives, like the primary objectives and the secondary objectives. Secondary objectives works as a the backup of that, or the substitute of that. So 5 objectives are sufficient, and each objective the panelists must be able to measure progress of the research work, and there must be certain rule behind that. The first objective is going to cater this particular class and creed, the second is going to do over and over to that, third is going to take care some more aspects, and fourth is going to recapitulate all those aspects, and finally the fifth is going to do in this way. So this is the manner by which the things are going to be done. And if you talk about what we expect to achieve, research objectives are usually expressed in lay terms, are directed and as much in the client as to the researcher. And research objectives may be linked with the hypothesis. We are having a full-fledged session, a dedicated session on hypothesis, like what is considered to be a null hypothesis or alternate hypothesis, why we go for hypothesis, when we go for hypothesis, and what are the impact or the repercussions of taking that we are going to elaborately talk about in our forthcoming sessions. So even if the nature of research has not been clear to the layperson from the hypothesis, should be able to understand the research from the objectives. I think objective is the backbone, and if you talk about, it starts with literature review, gap, then objective, then hypothesis, then questionnaire. So we will definitely throw a light. These observations might prompt researchers to formulate hypotheses which could be tested in other piece of research. So what we observe that, so this is a very important thing, because while maybe the example which I have taken is somewhat going to solve the purpose, but somewhere it is give the expression or the impression that you are going to take the objectives in this way. Like the first objective one, which talks about to describe what factors farmers takes into account in making such decisions as whether to adopt a new technology or what crops to grow. So in the above example, if you see that the intent of research is largely descriptive, and in this particular case, the first example, the research will end the study by being able to specify factors which emerge in household decisions. Now second, you see to develop a budget for reducing pollution by a particular enterprise. In the second, the result will be specification of pollution reduction budget. So, and if you see the third one, to describe the habitat of hippopotamus in Kanchenjunga Conservation Area in India. So you see, it's creating a picture of habitat of hippopotamus in India, in Assam basically. So what we observe that if you go through the particular objective, the intent of the research need to be quite descriptive in nature. What is the genesis behind the particular objective, and whether this genesis is interlinked with one another, that is more important. The title which I have chosen objective, maybe this is taken from 3 research and no linkage is there, but once you do the particular research, your objective need to be work as a ladder. The first objective talks about the 20% of the collection of primary data. The second objective talks about 30% of collection of primary data, and so forth. The third objective talks about somewhat more. So there must be a proper synchronization, proper linkage when you are going to talk about that. So anyway, I think how many objectives should there be? So some are saying it should be like that. There is no thumb rule, but there the mentors, your supervisors, or your project head can able to navigate you in a more strategic manner, and this is the model by which they are there. So what I mean to say in research, the good point in research is that there is no thumb rule or rocket science, I think. But on the other hand, there are certain set rules, there are certain parameters which one has to always follow, and if you are adhere to this particular parameters, or the format which is described, which is prescribed in the very beginning, it can work as a ready reckoner. So it's not like that you have to move in a stereotype manner when you start a research. The today research is somewhat different with the past research. The past research was purely the following the manual approach, no use of technology, no SPSS software, like no the test. But right now the ANOVA test and T-test and all those the things had come up, and these things have come up with the technological model. So technology work as an enabler in the present scenario, and what we observe that with the help of technology, the research is somewhat quite aggressive in nature right now, and it's coming and it's changing with the change of time. So and this is where the objective is also quite important to us, because you are right now having a huge number of literatures, and you are interacting with gigantic literatures, and these literatures, when you are having more number of literatures, your vision is quite broader, and you get you reach to a very good conclusion. So good part is that try to explore a good literature, and since the biggest challenge in the present scenario is the search engine, and when you put anything on the search engine in the Google, you will find out you get huge number of data, and the literature review is somewhat right now, if you talk about, there was when we were pursuing our research in 2000, at that time what we observed that the biggest challenge was the literature. We don't have the literature either in secondary data format or in the different format. So and there are certain constraints also. We float the questionnaires in a brick and mortar mode, but to the particular jurisdictions. But here the basket is quite bigger. You can have respondents from the other part of the world, and from different country people can reciprocate, and you can have the literature which is there. So there is no constraint that you can restrict yourself to the pan India work. You can have a pan Western word, or you can have a whole word as a data source. So that is where what I mean to say the things are going to be done, and I think this choosing objective is a very important step in this direction. And if you you have chosen your objectives in a very strategic manner by doing a lot of homework, I think you reach to a very good conclusion, and the results is quite mind-boggling. So by this I will wind up my session, and in our forthcoming session, in our next session, we will definitely throw a light on the topic which have work as a enablers in this. Thank you.